YouTube? Dmgaming here, y'all, and they just posted detailed information about franchise mode, and I don't have it on the screen. I was going to use OBS, but I really don't want to run the risk of any kind of copyrights or anything, so I'm just going to read it from word for word what it's saying, and we'll discuss it there. Madden NFL 19 Deep Dive Franchise Mode. It was posted today at 11 o'clock a.m. Had to be Eastern time, but anyway. Experience franchise in a whole new way. Step into your coach's office and build your team into a dynasty. Upgrade your players, balance your scheme, and make decisions about your depth chart to impact your success on the field. After the game, visit your players in the locker room and slap a captain's patch on the superstars. Back in your office, soak up the best snapshots from the game on your TV and in the news. Download a community-created draft class and head to the NFL draft. Find the next hidden gem that fits your scheme and see your next superstar revealed on the stage. So just in that open paragraph, one thing that jumped out to me is back in your office, soak up the best snapshots from the game on your TV and in the news. So that hints at presentation. Now, if they're able to show you those snapshots from the game as well as in the news, I'm wondering, will they have some kind of presentation element, or will it be news like it has been on past Maddens where you get to see, they show you like a snapshot from the game and they have a headline underneath it, something like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All right, so player archetype progression. Madden 19 introduces a new way to progress and classify your players in franchise with archetype progression system. Each position is now broken up into 2 to 4 styles used to grade the player. For example, the quarterback position now has 4 styles: field general, scrambler, strong arm, and West Coast. Remember, y'all, we talked about that West Coast. I told y'all boys be on it, man. Matt Ryan may be 88 overall West Coast, but only a 78 overall scrambler. On the other hand, Deshaun Watson may be an 82 overall scrambler, but only a 79 overall West Coast. These archetype overalls make it easy to evaluate a player's strengths and weaknesses. So back when they said there would only be 4 archetypes, I wondered what they meant by that. I said that maybe they mean position-based, lineman, wide receiver, running back, and quarterback, but they don't. They mean each position has 4 archetypes associated with it. Okay. And y'all, this picture here, I'm gonna post this picture to Twitter of Matt Ryan in here, and I'm gonna ask y'all, are the proportions off? Because to me, the proportions look off. His arms look very skinny and his head looks very big. That's just my opinion. But anyway, back to the article. Every skill point acquired. Hold on. Madden NFL 19 introduces a new way to progress and classify your players. Did we already read that? We already read that. Okay, so moving on. Earn skill points by acquiring enough XP for a player to level up. XP is earned during gameplay, training, awards, and more. And more. I wonder what the and more part is, because last year that's all it was awarded by was gameplay, training, and awards. Once you've earned a skill point, spend it on one of the player archetypes to upgrade the overall for that archetype by a full point. Okay, see, that's where they're going into more depth, because the way it was explained first was that when you upgrade an archetype, it upgrades their overall by 1 point. It doesn't upgrade the player's his total overall by 1 point. Rather, it upgrades whatever that archetype is by 1 point. And I'm gonna tell y'all now, it does that by upgrading attributes associated with that particular archetype. Like, I guess Scrambler is gonna upgrade his agility, probably his ball carrier. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's gonna upgrade different attributes associated with his scrambling ability. With his field general, it's probably gonna be like awareness and stuff like that. With his arm, it's gonna be throwing strength. And you get what I'm saying? Okay. At the end of the game, you are presented with all the players that have skill points and are ready to upgrade. Let's say you want to upgrade Matt Ryan's West Coast overall. It's currently an 88, so spending 1 skill point will increase his individual player rating, which will elevate his West Coast to an 89. Okay, let's back up. So spending 1 skill point will increase his individual player ratings. That's just what I said. It's going to increase certain ratings in order to increase his overall as far as West Coast is concerned by 1 point. Okay, that's right. This time, the West Coast upgrade awarded +1 to play action and deep accuracy, and a +2 to short accuracy. If he got a second skill point, he could receive +1 to play action, short accuracy, and throw power. The number of rating points earned from each upgrade varies, but they will also move you up 1 overall point in the selected archetype. And that's basically what I'm saying here. And they got a picture of Stefon Diggs being upgraded. His deep threat was upgraded 1 point overall. The skill point was up 1, so it went from 94 to 93. But the attributes it increased was his agility, his catching traffic, his deep route, his jumping, and his release. So whenever you upgrade a particular category, it's like I said, it's going to upgrade. It's going to upgrade certain attributes associated with that particular archetype. The decisions you make with this progression system are powerful. Instead of just going up 1 rating at a time, your player progresses a full overall each upgrade. Now that's overhyped because it's not going to his complete overall, I don't think is going to go up. It's in that particular category. But that is important for whenever you're trying to have a player to fit your scheme. Like I said, Stefon Diggs is 93 overall. Okay, he may be good for a certain style. He may be good at a deep threat, but if you have an offense that doesn't run deep routes, as good as a wide receiver he is for the deep threat, he may not be the best option for your team as far as a short, quick, possessive wide receiver. You get what I'm saying? It's a dynamic system that ensures player progression in unique ways while still giving you control over the player's total progression path. Archetypes per position, and they broke down the archetypes per position, okay? Quarterbacks have strong arm, scrambler, west coast, and field general. Halfbacks have power back, elusive back, and receiving back. That's nothing new. I think the quarterbacks are the only one that received a new one. Fullbacks have blocking and utility. Didn't know they still have fullbacks in the NFL. Ha, joke. Anyway, wide receivers have deep threat, possession, red zone threat, and slot receiver. Slot receiver is new for the wide receivers. Tight end has a vertical threat and possession and blocking. Now, I'm backing up to the receiver. That's interesting that they add the slot receiver mechanic on there because every receiver isn't good in the slot. And so by opening up the depth chart the way that they did, it adds more immersiveness to it. And I like that. The offensive line has agile, power, and pass protector. The D-line has run stopper, speed rush, and power rusher. Okay, the middle linebackers have field general, pass coverage, and run stopper. The outside linebackers have pass coverage, run stopper, speed rusher, and power rusher. Cornerbacks, D5Bs, got man-to-man, zone coverage, and slot corner. Wow, I like that. So that's the corner that's essentially in the nickel, that extra DB that you have that's manned up or whatever on the slot receiver. Wow, that is going to be clutch. I really like that. The safety has zone coverage, run support, and hybrid. And hybrid is just basically a combination of both. A great coverage guy and a good run stopper. And the kicker and punters even have archetypes. Accurate and power. All right. Now, coach scheme fits. Your coach's scheme matters more this year thanks to scheme fit feature. Build your team with players that match your scheme and they will develop faster, giving you more success on the field. Yes. Y'all, this is exactly what I've been asking for in the past videos. Remember when I told y'all about archetypes and I said, this is the only way that, because they've had archetypes in the game before, but I said, if they do it this way, this is how it will work out. And I said, if they make archetypes matter, if you have a player on your team that fits your archetype, you should get a boost and a bonus. And that's exactly what they're giving you. Those players are going to progress faster. Now, we already know that the players who don't fit your archetype, there really isn't a negative to how you run your offense per se. But what it's going to do is they're not going to progress at all or not as fast. Now, it's interesting with the archetypes, like I said, Matt Ryan has a higher overall than Deshaun Watson, yes. But depending on what offensive style you run, it may be better to have a guy like Deshaun Watson in there over Matt Ryan. So it takes their overall, their main overall, and it breaks it down. Like if you're looking for a scrambling quarterback, who's the best scrambling quarterback? If you're looking for a strong arm, who's the best strong arm? Because the best strong arm is not necessarily the best quarterback overall. However, for your particular scheme fit, that's the guy that you want to go with. You see what I'm saying? That's going to progress him faster and thus is going to be more effective for your offense in the long run. Okay? Start by choosing an offense and defensive scheme to make your decision easier. Scroll through the available schemes to see how many players on your roster are a scheme fit, which they have that now still. Each scheme looks for a specific player archetype for each position. For example, West Coast zone run scheme looks for agile offensive linemen. All offensive linemen that are agile will have a puzzle piece scheme fit icon denoting they're a match. This helps you find the players that best fit your team. The scheme fit icon is visible in free agent bidding, trading, scouting, drafting, and more. And that's really, really cool that they let you know that, hey, this player fits your scheme. And I know people may still going to rush out and get the best overall player, but this new archetype system is exactly what I expected it to be, and that's huge. I'm telling y'all, for those of y'all who don't understand how this is going to work, for those of y'all who play franchise mode like me, who love the immersiveness of it, to like to kind of pretend like this is real life in a sense, you are going to love this. Because like I said, you can have the best quarterback on your team, and your backup may actually be a better scheme fit than your starter. Now, you can play the game old school with just putting a player with the best overall as your starter. But if you want to play it realistically, how football really is in real life, you're going to get the player that fits your scheme the best. Now, they did say this, and it may be in here, I may be getting ahead of myself, but if you get a player who doesn't fit your scheme, you can still edit their attributes in a sense with upgrading them and essentially mold them into a player that fits your scheme. That to me is awesome. I wonder what they're going to talk about with that in here, but let's continue reading. They may cover that. Change your scheme at any point for full control over how you build your team. So you can basically do whatever a coach can do. If you don't like this scheme, it's not working, scratch it and rebuild the team. Draft a stud strong arm quarterback in the first round and want to maximize his development? Simply switch to a vertical power run or vertical zone run offense and start building your team around him. Y'all, which you can do this anyway, but the game it's actually implemented in the game now to where it's real life. Like guys go out and, hey, this guy's just too good to pass up in the draft. I want to build my team around him. And they draft a guy like the Washington Redskins did with RG3. You know, they basically got this guy who was not their typical type of player, and they rebuilt an offense around him. Same thing with Carolina. Perfect example with Carolina. They literally rebuilt the offense around Cam Newton. And that's when you see them bringing in players and stuff to fit those schemes. I love that. That immersiveness, that's exactly one of the things that we've been asking for. Okay. Your quarterback will now get bonus XP in training because he is a scheme fit. Shape players to fit your scheme by upgrading their archetype. By upgrading the archetype your scheme prefers until they flip to a new player type. And see, that's what I was telling you. Say I run a different scheme, a West Coast scheme, but I got a quarterback who's not particularly good in the West Coast style offense. He's a strong arm guy, but you know, he's better in the spread or something like that. I can upgrade his West Coast attribute until it changes his play type. Because you have 4 different archetypes that you can upgrade. You see what I'm saying? If I'm looking for a scrambling quarterback, I'm going to upgrade their scrambling. If I'm looking for a West Coast, y'all get what I'm saying? So you can get a guy that doesn't fit your scheme, but by upgrading a particular archetype, it will change him to fit your scheme, given that archetype is what the scheme you're looking for, scheme fit you're looking for. Okay? Players that have balanced archetype overalls are much easier to flip than ones that are far away. Here's a full list of offensive and defensive schemes for this year. And before I get into that, because it's not a big list, but anyway, before I get into that, basically what they're saying is Matt Ryan is slow. So if you're trying to mold him to fit a scheme that requires a mobile quarterback, it's gonna take longer than if you were to get a guy like say, who's somebody that's fast but not really just a game-breaking scrambling quarterback. Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield isn't as fast as Deshaun Watson or Lamar Jackson, but you can mold him to be more of a scrambling quarterback. That's just a perfect example because he can already run some. But the offensive schemes that are going to be in the game this year are West Coast zone run, West Coast power run, vertical zone run, vertical power run, multiple zone run, multiple power run, the spread, and the run and shoot. Now, these aren't the playbooks, y'all. These are the schemes. And anytime you see zone is more geared towards your agile running backs, your mobile quarterbacks, because those are the guys that's going to have to make a decision in a hurry. And if they mess up, they got to be able to get out of trouble. So anytime you see like a zone run or something like that, That's the type backs and quarterbacks you need to have on your roster. Power, those are the guys that's just straight up in the hole, pounding it. You see what I'm saying? Now, the defensive schemes is a base 4-3, a multiple 4-3, a base 3-4, multiple 3-4, Tampa 2, and 46 defense. Now, draft class creator. The #1 requested feature by the community is here. Get ready to create and share draft classes using Madden Share. When scouting starts in week 3 of the regular season, you'll be prompted to either use an auto-generated class, download a class, or import a locally saved class. Download and import anytime scouting is available, even if it's later in the season. That is really cool. And it has a picture here, and it basically says auto-generate rookies, download from Madden Share, or import local file. Now, looking in the background, y'all, you just see the coach in the office, but there's nothing else that's changed. You still got that same menu to the right that we have. Only difference is at the very top of the screen, you see your schedule for the upcoming games. Okay. Creating and sharing a draft class is easy. And that's on things to do, by the way, y'all. This is the main screen. I don't see where the news is at. So as far as presentation goes, maybe you have to actually go to it to look at it. I'm not sure, but it's definitely not on the front of the franchise menu. Okay. Creating and sharing a draft class is easy. Start with an auto-generated class and edit as much or as little as you want. While on the main scouting menu, press the Edit Players button to kick off the process. Choose to edit the current draft class or import/download another one. If you edit the current class, then you will be taken to a spreadsheet that reveals everything about the players, about the 450 players in the current draft class. And there's going to be some dedicated guy in the community that's literally going to edit all 450. And to you, my good sir, I say thank you ahead of time. Easily move players up and down the draft projection using the swap and insert above tools. Select each player and edit his player info, appearance, equipment, ratings, and player traits. So that's what they meant by storing a gem in the later rounds, because you can, as good as a guy is attribute wise, you can actually put it to where he's projected in a low round. And y'all gonna not like that, but think about how football really is. Just because a player has outstanding ability doesn't mean that his play equates to that on the field. There's been a lot of players who were showstoppers at the combine, but didn't have the production and got into the NFL and didn't produce. There's a lot of guys in college who have outstanding attributes who are not high round picks. And that is very realistic. And I really like that they added that into the game, because that's true to football. And I like that. And it just has a picture of that. Okay. When you access the draft class creator menu, a transaction log item is sent so other people in your league know that you saw the full draft class. The transaction log is also notified each time a player is edited, so that others can keep track of who you are changing. For multi-user leagues, only the commissioner can adjust the draft class. So in a multi-user league, only the commissioner can adjust the draft class, but anytime that's done, people will get a notification of it and who it is and stuff like that. That way it's not a surprise when you sneak a guy in the 7th round and he's amazing attributes and stuff like that. Everybody's going to know, because I think there was an issue with the community as people was like, how are we going to know, people in the online community are going to be making 99 overalls and stuff like that? No, if they make a player and edit them and stuff like that, everybody that's in that online league is going to be notified about it. And they have a zoomed in thing on the edit player. And, okay, so interesting here, and y'all can go look at this on Twitter and look at the images, but it has its attributes, which you can edit. I'm not seeing anything new as far as this player's position, but to the right, it has ratings ranges, and it has elite at 81 to 84, good at 80 to 76, average to 71 to 75, and poor is 67 to 70. So in previous Maddens, I mean, I'm not seeing a 99 overall. So, and it's a right in his block shedding. That's the rating. It's a particular rating. It's an individual rating. He has block shedding highlighted, and is basically saying to be an elite block shedding right in, your rating would have to be 81 to 84. And so basically when you're editing these players and looking at their attributes, you're going to be able to see what attributes need to be at what number in order to be considered elite, good, average, or poor. And that's kind of where the threshold stuff is right in your face, and I like that. Overall by type, speed rusher says 75, power rusher 79, and run stopper says 80. And I guess that's like his archetype stuff. Find all the draft classes the community has created in Madden Share. Sort by most downloaded and top liked to find the class you are looking for. Download a draft class, make edits, and then upload a new one. Everything is at your fingertips when you're using the draft class creator, and I like that. Depth chart positions. Your team now has a specialist section with 7 depth chart positions. So it's a specialist. I didn't know that. It's pretty interesting. These positions ensure the right players are on the field in the right situations. So basically you have your regular depth chart, then you have a specialist depth chart so that you don't have to go into the game and actually substitute players in and out or go through different packages. Whenever you're basically setting up the automatic substitutions for certain packages, which I like that. So now you don't have to actually go into the depth chart and change positions around depending on the package and the scheme fit. You get to do it from the main menu of franchise mode, put those players where you want them, and they have like the slot left corner, slot left wide receiver, the rush left end, the rush D tackle, all that different stuff. The rush right end, the sub linebacker, the slot wide receiver, the third down halfback, and the power halfback. And those all have to do with different packages. I really like that. Okay. Nickel and dime defenses now use rush left end, rush defensive tackle, rush right end, sub linebacker, and slot cornerback. I told y'all about the slot cornerback. That's what he is. He's a nickelback. These players are best for downs when the offense is likely to be throwing the ball and it's abbreviated, rush defensive tackle, rush left end, and rush right end. This means that the run stoppers are leaving the field and the pass rushers are stepping in. Oh my God, I love that, y'all. Because a lot of people just leave in their best overall players. They don't really switch these players out. This is going to give you more incentive to play the game like it's really played in real life. People like me who have played to the collegiate level, Division II, I'm happy about it because that's how the game is played in real life. You utilize packages instead of just leaving the best player on the field, because like I told y'all, the best overall player doesn't necessarily mean he's the best player for that particular situation. The CPU won't put in a player that has low pass rush moves in this position. So even the computer is going to be using this. So now if you're on offense, down and distance, you know that computer is going to have their rushers in the game. That, I love that. That's giving the AI more weapons in their arsenal as well, which I've heard in this game that the AI is a lot more intelligent. So that's good. Okay. For sub linebackers, the best pass coverage linebacker will fill this post. Your slot corner would be the best player on your team using the slot corner overall, but will not fill with cornerback 1, cornerback 2, free safety 1, or strong safety 1, unless their archetype is slot corner. So basically, he could be the weakest cornerback in your arsenal on your team, but if his slot corner rating is higher than everybody else's, he'll be in that position. Now, if you have a better corner, then so be it. The slot wide receiver depth chart position will be the best player on your team using the slot receiver overall. See, it's using that archetype, okay? Instead of his main overall, it's using his slot type overall, okay? This will ensure that players like New England Patriots Danny Amendola are used in the slot, but guys that are better outside will stay outside, and I like that. I like that a lot. Power halfback is used in goal line formations and other heavy sets as your running back. He will be the best player in your team to tote the rock between the tackles using the new power back overall. If you have an elusive back as your best halfback and want to keep him in on goal line formations, just swap him into the power halfback starting position. You have the control, and I like that. It's not an automatic thing. If you want to change it, you can. Third down running back now uses new receiving back overall. Third down running back come in on third down for many formations, which they've already been doing that. You could set up your third down back, but a lot of people just keep their best overall player as their third down back. But whenever you go into the game, even now, and look at your third down back, they all have different overalls. That's already in the game. They're just adding this in to the archetype system. Some playbooks even have your third down back come in on shotgun formations for other downs too. Kick returners and punt returners got some love as well. The CPU will never have a starting halfback, wide receiver, corner, or safety as a kick returner. Yes, Thank you. You need to put the best player back there. This is going to add to your practice squads and your free agencies by opening up the door for you to actually pick up a player who may get signed to your team. He's in a development role, but he's excellent on special teams to be able to make an impact on your team aside from just putting the best player back there. Okay. This means that guys like Antonio Brown will be back there during punts, but won't see the field during kickoffs. Player ratings. 11 fresh ratings have been added to help differentiate players and bring to life the archetype system. For example, the new run block finesse and pass block finesse ratings will be featured on agile linemen. Meanwhile, power linemen will rely on new run block power and pass block power ratings. And these are the new ones that they have right here. Break tackle, which that's actually already been in the game. Determines broken tackle success for ball carriers versus standard tackles, not hit sticks or cut sticks. Break sack, that's new for the quarterback. Determines whether the quarterback will escape a sack inside the pocket, not outside, inside. Well, if it's outside, yeah, he can still be a sack if it's outside. Throw under pressure, determines passing accuracy when throwing under pressure. I like that. Run block power, determines success chance for drive down, and power double teams block on plays like toss and power O. Run block finesse, determines success chance for zone, reach, and zone double team blocks on plays like outside and stretch. And I like that it breaks it down for us. Lead block, determines successful chance for blockers leading from the backfield or pulling from the line. Pass block power, used versus defensive power moves. Pass block finesse, used versus defense finesse moves. Short route running, used when running short routes, slants, drags. Medium route running and deep route running, y'all already know what those are. Okay, immersive environments. We're unleashing the power of Frostbite in franchise with the addition of immersive environments, okay? While playing as a coach or owner, you'll be exploring your coach's office. If your coach has won a Super Bowl, you will see a Lombardi, I don't know why I'm tongue twisted today, y'all. Lombardi trophy on the shelf, which is cool. Head to a locker room environment to interact with your players. That is really cool. I don't really know how that's going to be implemented by looking here at the main screen. I guess whenever you go to roster, it's going to automatically make the coach appear in the locker room or something. I'm not sure. Okay. If you're playing as a player, you will see your player in the locker room as he prepares for his next game. And I'm looking at a picture of Odell Beckham. He's on a cell phone, so he's probably tweeting. But my God, does that look like him? Only thing about the shoulder pads are too wide. Anyway, if you're playing as a player, you will see your player in the locker room as he prepares for his next game. In addition, you'll experience the NFL draft in Madden in brand new way. The draft stage presents which team is on the clock and who the previous pick was on the giant video board in front of a crowd. When it's time to make your pick, the draftee will be sporting his new uniform while his ratings and development traits are revealed. So that's pretty cool. And they do have a stage. And it looks pretty cool. I mean, and all of this is in the background. So picture the main menu that we have in franchise mode right now, but in the background, they have the coach in his office, the player in the locker room, or the draft thing. And it is pretty cool. Then they have a picture of the pick after the guy was drafted. It tells his development trait, which is a star. They have his height, weight, age, type, college. It tells you your draft analysis if he's a good pick, and it reveals his player archetypes. This one is a power, pass protector, and agile. So that's really cool. These amazing environments deliver an immersive experience in franchise while you build your ultimate dynasty. Okay. Snapshot. We want you to live in your franchise and want to help you tell the stories of each game. We're doing this by displaying some of the top moments from each game as snapshots. You can take snapshots from instant replay in the highlight screen, and then the snapshot will be automatically recorded for you from key moments in the game. So it's going to automatically do it. This is a feature that we saw in NCAA 14, y'all. That's why I'm telling y'all, Rex had a lot to do with what's going on in franchise mode right now. So some of these little tidbits of things, appreciate what the guy did for us. Okay. You could take, okay, so these snapshots are integrated throughout franchise as part of your immersive environments in the hub and in news stories. View full screen snapshots of your games from other users in your league by visiting the snapshot gallery. The snapshot gallery holds the last 100 snapshots from the league. As you load into the game, see your very own snapshot in the background. Your snapshots are everywhere. Even the main menu of Madden shows your most recent snapshot. And then they have team captains, which they bought that back, which is pretty interesting. To address another top community request, team captains can now be added and removed from the roster. You can add up to 6 captains per team. The captain's patch will appear in-game on the player's uniform. Each star denotes how long they've been a captain. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. Not all teams allow for the stars to be shown on the uniform, but all captains will have a star icon visible on the field. So I guess not all of them let them have the captain's thing on the patch. I don't know. This feature will let you quickly identify the top players for the opposing team. Regression. At the end of each season, each player regress based on their age and development trait. This year, the regression is much more dynamic, meaning that each rating will have a unique chance of going down. High development trait players regress slower than other players, and the age at which players at different positions start to regress has been adjusted as well. This means that high caliber players have a better chance of extending their careers and climbing their way up the legacy leaderboard. And that's true to real life in a sense. Dynamic development trait. A player's development trait determines how much XP they earn from training and games. We've updated this year to be normal, quick, star, and superstar. That's how it was last year. It's now much harder to be a superstar than in years past. There are only a few superstars per position, which makes them difficult to get, but the trait changes more frequently. At the end of the season, each player is evaluated on how well they did compared to the rest of the league. Their performance will result in the development trait going up, down, or staying the same. That is freaking awesome. So if you have a guy that's a rookie or something like that, he's on a normal development trait, and the guy balls out better than any receiver in the league, he's going to get a huge upgrade to his developmental trait. Now, what I wonder is if you can go in and change this yourself, which I'm pretty sure you can. But the way that they have implemented it in the game, it's going to be really cool and immersive to just let the game do what it does. And that's realistic, in my opinion. Superstars need to, it gets better. Superstars need to perform at a consistently high level and be statistical leaders in order to hold on to the precious superstar trait. That is really cool. Because if you're a superstar, you're going to stay a superstar in Madden 18, no matter how bad a season you have. But here, they're doing it realistic. If you have a bad season, you ain't going to be no superstar developmental trait next year. That is really cool. Further, we have made rookie superstars extremely rare as a part of our generated classes. They're the ultimate reward of the scouting and draft process. That is really cool. And that goes into finding those gems when you find that draft pick. That is cool. I like that, y'all. Step further into your franchise in Madden 19 and build your dynasty. Play this and more. NFL 19 available August 10th. Now, what I did not see is any details. I mean, they basically explained a lot of stuff that we already know, y'all. I didn't see a lot of details as to how single player will play out. So with that being said, I'm going to assume that it's just like last year, that you don't do any kind of drills or anything like that to determine your overall, to determine what draft pick you go. If you pick yourself as a player, it appears, because they haven't said anything about it and there's nothing else on the playbook that's going to talk about this, it appears that it's probably just going to be just like it was last year. You pick if you want to be an early round draft pick, a late round draft pick, blase. I don't see them surprising us by adding that into the game and not telling us about it, because that would be a feature that you definitely want to show off and let people know. So they didn't say anything about that. So y'all, that's one thing that I am upset about, unless I'll get the game and find out that it's in there. But like I said, that's something new. That's something innovative and immersive. So if it was in the game, I'm pretty sure EA would have made it a point to tell us it was in the game in the detailed thing about franchise mode. But y'all, that's everything, man. If you stuck through it this long, I appreciate it. What are your thoughts down in the comment section down below? To me, the ARC system sounds exactly like what I've been talking about for the past month. And I'm excited about that because it adds a realness, a real element to the game, and something that I already do anyway, but it adds it. You're actually rewarded for it in the game. So that's going to be real interesting, y'all. Like I said, let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Till next time, thanks for watching, and God bless.